I don't know if you watch it or not, but the BBC reality show The Traitors has had an extraordinary run. The celebrity version's finale drew close to 15 million viewers. Carol Midgley of The Times called the Series 2 finale a seat gripper and an absolute nerve shredder, saying that by the end her fingernails were bitten to stumps. So why? Why do millions of people choose to watch something like that? Well, for the same reason people watch many other things. We like competition, and we like watching it on our screens. From sport to reality television, we want something to root for and somewhere to stand. Now, that instinct is not new. People have always chosen sides, heroes and villains, teams to back, someone to blame. What feels different now is how often that posture is being used. It no longer belongs to just one moment or one arena. It carries on everywhere. The world feels right now like it's never been more divided. So it's no wonder that a show built entirely around suspicion and discord has become such a cultural event. It arrives in a moment in time when almost everyone, in one way or another, feels under attack. In today's gospel, Jesus preaches his Sermon on the Mount, or the Beatitudes. And in it, he names groups of people specifically. You remember, the poor in spirit, those who mourn, those who are hungry. They may well have included some of those listening. But at the end, Jesus shifts from speaking in general categories and speaks directly to those who will choose to follow him. Blessed are you, he says. Blessed are you when people revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. The use of the word you here shifts the whole sermon. It personalizes it. It speaks candidly about this cost that Jesus talks about of discipleship, right to those who will have to bear it. But I'm afraid that this direct address is easily heard as the beatitude that everybody feels entitled to adopt. It's become the rule by which righteousness is recognized by some. You see, opposition now functions as validation. Across all sorts of communities, left and right, being pushed back against is taken as a sign you must be right, that you're saying some kind of hard truth. And disagreement no longer raises questions, it answers them. And from there, being persecuted becomes an identity. People inhabit a story in which their group is always under threat. Cultural change, disagreement, or loss of influence is narrated as oppression. And this way of speaking, in terms of persecution and oppression, it circulates so easily in the media ecosystems that reward outrage and grievance. To be persecuted is to be interesting, to be urgent, to be worth defending. And feeling besieged gives coherence and energy. It keeps movements alive. The story becomes simple. The world is bad, the truth is hated, and rejection proves that you are right. But that's simply not true. Don't get me wrong, persecution can happen. It does happen. And when it does, it is real and costly. But it is not a reliable measure of righteousness. Nor is everything persecution. Multiculturalism is not an attack on national or ethnic identity. Migrants are not the cause of current economic insecurity. Facing consequences for racist speech is not persecution. Feminism is not an attack on men. Legal protections for LGBTQ plus people are not an oppression of others. And fewer people attending church nationally does not mean Christians are being persecuted. Those things may be painful, unsettling, or costly, but they are not persecution. The Beatitudes are spoken to unsettle assumptions, to reorder desire, and to expose where power, comfort, and certainty have taken root. They are meant to disturb. But when the Beatitudes are used to confirm what one thinks, rather than to upset it, they cease to function as Beatitudes at all. To many hearers in 2026, the powerful Sermon on the Mount ends not with a shock, not as a word that disrupts, but as reassurance, a mirror reflecting back the story that we've already told ourselves, a way of confirming our own sense of being wronged, our own downtroddenness. And from there, we sort the world. The faithful work out who the traitors are so they can eliminate them. The problem is that everyone is convinced they are among the faithful. But no one is prepared to ask what that might really mean.